split my teeth. Hey there guys, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 mistakes that new writers make. Now these aren't mistakes that you would make while you write. These are more personal mistakes that you can make that will hinder your writing process, your writing frame of mind. Because guys, being a writer isn't all joyous fun and murderous games like you might think it is. Mistake number 1, comparing yourself to other writers. Look, it's something we all do. We're plodding along, doing our thing, then we turn around and we read something on Wattpad or AO3 or fanfiction.net. We see something on Tumblr, we see a link on Twitter to someone's blog, we read their work, and it's infinitely better than our own. You might have come across this already. Cue the spiral of self-doubt. Am I good enough to be a writer? Their work is so much better than mine. What if I'm never going to be that good? Listen, everyone has been there. Don't worry about what everyone else is putting out there. Chances are the published work they've got online has gone through months and months of editing and revision to get it to the point it was. No matter where they are on their writer's journey, whether they're just starting out, whether they're a pro, or whether they're already published, everyone is going to have those moments of self-doubt where they think they can't write. The important thing in order for you to continue is to not worry about what anyone else is writing. Where they are with their work is not where you are with yours. But that's not a bad thing. You will get there as long as you are determined to see it through. Rest assured, your work probably doesn't sound as bad as you think it does. Don't let the success of others or other people's ability stop you from writing. It will only bring you down. Number 2, taking writing advice at face value. When you're starting out as a new writer, you're either going to go in blind and learn as you go, or you're going to find whatever you can online about how to write in the first place. And one of the biggest things you'll find online is writing advice. How to write your novel, what to do and what not to do. The most important thing I can tell you to do as a new writer is to not listen to all of that writing advice, or don't take it at face value. I've seen so many stories where people have let others read their work. They've been given so much advice, it's conflicting advice, and they've changed everything in their novel and it's worse off than it was before. Because there's too many voices, there's too many opinions, there's too much writing advice. You cannot possibly follow it all and have your novel turn out to be the best thing in the entire world. I'm not saying don't listen to writing advice. It can be helpful. Everybody's writing style is different. Everybody has different opinions on what they like and what they do not like when reading a book. Some people will tell you to show, don't tell. Some people will tell you to tell and don't show. Writing advice generally stems from people's opinions. You take the writing advice which you believe works for you. If you like writing descriptions of stuff, then sure, show, don't tell. If you hate writing descriptions, then tell a little more than you show, but don't just do one or the other. As you go along on your writing journey, you'll find what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and you'll be able to easily differentiate between what writing advice you should take, what you should listen to, what you should think about, and what you should just chuck behind you and never see again. Writing advice is helpful, but only if you use it correctly. Number 3, waiting for inspiration. This is a big one. I've done this before in the past where I would not write unless I really wanted to, or I really wanted something to say, or I had a really good idea for a scene or moment in my novel and I would write it down. It took me years to finish my first novel because I was not inspired to write any further, and that was largely in part of where I'd stopped writing. It was right in the middle of some dialogue scene that didn't have anything to do with the plot. It was like right at the beginning, I wasn't inspired to continue, so I didn't. You will hear from most people, write every day. I'm not saying you need to write every day. You know, it's difficult for some people, but don't wait until inspiration hits in order to start writing. Some days you'll be brimming with inspiration, and there'll be weeks and weeks where you have no inspiration at all. So try to write at least something during those times you're not inspired, because sometimes the inspiration will come as you write. Number 4, not reading your genre. Most of the time, to avoid plagiarism, to avoid writing something too closely to someone else's work. Reading is an important part of a writer's job. You need to read, whether you read every day, whether you read once a week, in order to find your inspiration, keep your inspiration, and to improve your writing craft. To see the different styles that everybody has, to see the different ways that people introduce the characters, to see how different people world build or create tension or create conflict within the confines of that particular genre, because romance, mystery, drama, horror, fantasy, sci-fi, every single genre will show tension differently, will show conflict differently, will world build differently, and it's important that you get a feel for what works and what does not work within the genre that you write. You'll only be a better writer for it. Number 5, which sort of correlates in with number 4, fear of the same. There is no such thing as original thought anymore, but some writers are really worried about their novel sounding similar, or having similar characters, or similar plot points, or similar outlines to other novels that are out there. And I've seen people stop writing because, oh, my idea is too similar to this person's idea. Every single story out there sort of follows the same pattern, especially if it's in the same genre. Can you take massive elements of someone's work and put it into your own without being caught? Not really. I mean, if I come out with some love story between a girl and a vampire, of course it's going to have callbacks to Twilight, and it's a bit because Twilight is one of the biggest books that has been out in recent years. What they won't care about is the difference in plot. And last but not least, calling yourself an aspiring writer. People seem to think you need to be at some point in your writing journey in order to call yourself a writer. Whether that's having a presence in the writing community, getting so far in your novel, having done it for 1, 2, 3 years, and until you reach that certain point you're just aspiring to be one. Guys, listen. If you write, you are a writer. Doesn't matter how long you've been writing for, whether it be a day, a week, a month. Doesn't matter how many times you write. Doesn't matter how much you write. Doesn't matter how many books you've written or not written. As long as you write, no matter how much, you are a writer. And everybody in the writing community, whether you find them on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, they will welcome you with open arms, believe me. So guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good thoughts and happy writing. Full moon. Half moon. Total eclipse. I always wanted to do that.